And I believe it's you, I believe it's the same. And we are strong, stronger than we ever thought we were all alone. And I know it's time to get you on, so much. Walk with me, cover me, 'cause you know life can be battle.
What's up, y'all? How you doing? It's your boy. This is Gerald. It is Sunday, the 25th, 2014. How you doing? You are in the midst of your Memorial Day weekend. I hope it's going well for you. I hope that this past week it was as you envisioned it to be, and you were able to sidestep any negativity, any drama, or just uneasiness. I hope this was your week. Well, we're here, y'all. We are in the beginning of summer. What did a year ago? Isn't it crazy? We are now in summer. Now, take a second. Take a second and look back at everything that you've experienced since January 1. Look at all the successes, all the lessons, all the things that you've had to embrace to help you grow. Yeah, unfortunately there may have been some choices made where you may have made decisions to take another direction in your life for the betterment. But even though that you may not see it right now, in the end it would all make sense. It would all put the pieces in your life, your legacy, in place. See, don't worry about that. Don't fret about excuse me. Don't fret, don't trip. You know, I don't know about you. I've been excited about summer since the beginning of the year. And as you can see in my past videos, I've been kind of on this energy, this drive, like, you know what, because I really believe that this is going to be the summer that not only is going to take you to another level, but it's going to validate everything that you've done, not only for the beginning of this year, but in your life. Things that may have been hidden about the way you think, the way you act, the way you respond, you will start to have that validation now. Because now you should have a better footing in your life where you can now speak your truth. You have the courage that you thought that you did not have. Now it is there. But guess what? It is there through love. That's right. See, now you're actually seeing your worth. You're seeing your value. And for that, you know that your life, your time, everything that has your name connected to it has a purpose. It matters. So you must govern. You must govern it. It is like the money that is in your pocket. It is a resource to give you access to what you need. But the conundrum is trying to discern between what you want. No matter how tempting it may be, you must make sure that you make the right choice. So, how you doing? Doing all right? How is your Memorial Day weekend going thus far? I hope it's peaceful. I hope you're able to finally take a second to focus back on you after a busy week. Excuse me. So, now we are in summer. Now, you know how they have the safety bulletin of the 100 critical days. Well, I really believe that this summer, as I mentioned before, there are going to be some decisions that you may have to make. There may be some choices that will come up unexpectedly, and depending on where your thought process is, it may not be in your best interest. So it is very, very important that you take a second to discern everything you do. That goes with as well as how you communicate. Take a second to think about whatever you're about to release out, whatever is going to be conveyed. It is exactly as you wish it to be. Because as you know, just like words, once they're sent out, you can't retrieve them. So think about that. I wanted to share something with you. I had a situation that occurred while I was at work. I had a very dear friend, work colleague. You know, we spend a lot of time on our downtime. We talk, and he was telling me about a situation where there was a person that he was fond of. He was very fond, and they had a history. And the person, normally he would give his shirt for this person because it was obviously he genuinely cared about this person. However, the person didn't care about themselves, and it was very painful for him to see the effects of choices made by this person. So just so happened I happened to be out and I saw that something was bothering me. So, you know, being a friend, you know, I asked, hey, what's going on, man? What's happening? Because I could tell that whatever it was on his heart. So we sat down and I told him, I said, listen, in this day and time, I love that synchronicity right there. You know, one of the most priceless commodities you gonna ever have, other than loving yourself, is being a friend. At times it can be a thankless job. Many times you take on the burdens of those who do not see their own worth. But it is done without a judging heart. And for that, you know, my higher power, I know him as my Lord Jesus Christ, he's going to thank you for that. Because there is a connection between that situation, that person, and the dynamic shared between the two, in which you should gain knowledge or awareness in your own responsibilities. So the point I'm trying to make is this. When you use the word friend, how much authority do you give? How much value do you issue? And when you look at that, you will see a connection of the environment in which you deem it to the person you direct it to. So make sure that when you use the term friend, it should be unconditional. It should not be from an ulterior motive or an opportunist point of view, because you do understand this. Anything that is not done purely, you might as well not have done it at all. And so how can you call yourself a friend honestly? And you do understand the same energy that you put out is the same energy that you will have to receive. It goes back to source. So, to get back to my story, I told them, I said, listen, it takes all your energy to just be you. You do understand that. So for you to take from yourself to give to someone, and if they do not see your worth or appreciation, then they do not have your best interest. There is something that has to be learned. And sometimes the best thing that you can do for someone, may it be friend, family members, or your work environment, is to pray for them, to step back and let whatever needs to happen. Okay, I know you're saying, well, Joe, why would you do that? If you see something, you can prevent something, why would you not lend a helping hand? Okay, I'll spin it. Think about it this way. Just say you're walking down the street and you see your friend or someone you care about, a family member, and they're in a hole, right? And they're saying, hey, I need you to help me. Talk about synchronicity. And then you turn around and jump in that hole. Now both of y'all need help. You're not actually able to help them, because now you inherited the same problem that got them where they are. In other words, you've more or less enabled the problem to continue. So you have to make a decision. Number one, you must make sure that you have yourself together first. Make sure that your yard is the way you wish it before you try to render support to someone else. That is why it is not good to have a judging heart. You should never judge somebody, because unless you can put on their shoes and take on their life, it's not your place. That's not. And I know you're saying, well, Cheryl, that's more easier said than done. But think about it this way. If you really had someone's best interest at heart, wouldn't that come from a pure place anyway? You would do it without blinking an eye. But if you're constantly rendering support and it is just falling on deaf ears, or it is not validated in appreciation, then you have to question why you're doing it. Or unfortunately, you have to question how they see you. Because unfortunately, we have free will. So with that being said, you got to help yourself. And as long as it comes from your heart and it's pure, hey, the big guy upstairs knows. Let him motivate you and position you where you need to be. Even if it means that you got to turn a blind eye. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to allow people to go through their storms. That's how growth is. Haven't you noticed when you take a position to better yourself, and you're making the sacrifices to focus on what area needs to be tended to, and you have everybody in the woodwork to try to talk you off that accomplishment. The reason why they do that is because what you're seeing is sparking an insecurity in them. And they know, unfortunately, they already know, they see something in you already. And they're hoping that you don't discover it. Because if you discover that, there's a strong possibility the position that they have with you may be altered forever. And they don't want to risk that. That's why, you know, the proverbial term, knowledge is power. Well, guess what? Self-worth is priceless. And I think it's priceless. I think your life matters. So it's very, very important that you love yourself. So, do not make any decisions and choices made out of fear. Pray. Discern. Be still. And trust you. Trust when I tell you this. Synchronicity is running real hard right now. As long as you do what's needed for you, it's not a bad thing. It's not. And trust when I tell you this. Everything that you have done that was done correctly, you will see the validation at the appropriate time. Even people. So do not worry. I keep telling you this. When people want to walk out of your life, leave you hanging the bag, guess what? Thank them. Because all that does is validate that they are at a point where they're unable to travel with you, or there is something that needs to be addressed, like growth. Now, think of it this way. If you're trying to do what's best for you, shouldn't your environment validate that? But if you're only attracting people that just want to take from you and not reciprocate the same energy that's given out, they're not your friends. They're not. They're no different than a thief in the night. But guess what? They're hoping that you won't discover that. But as long as you stay prayed up, as long as you allow your higher power to guide you, to allow your angels and spirit guides to place a circle of protection around you, you cannot go wrong, because it comes from your heart. And whatever's found in your heart will be your reality. You cannot escape that. So embrace who you are. Speak your truth. Keep your foundation grounded. Love yourself. And here's another thing, not to sound arrogant or condescending. For those who do not see your worth, because you got to understand, your worth is not defined overnight. It's not found in a stolen moment. It is not replaced by materialism. That is nothing. That is nothing but illusions. And illusions is nothing but denial that is fostered by fake truth anyway. That's why when you do things you're not supposed to do, it hurts. It hurts because it was never yours. You tried to obtain something that has your name nowhere near it. So don't claim the things that are not yours, because you have to understand the devil's work is never done. And when you are trying to truly do things that are best for you, that's when he comes the hardest. That's when he turns around and goes deep in that heart of yours and finds that thought that only you know about, that it is manifested and is put right there, just to see if you'll sway, just to see if he can deter your evolution, the person you're destined to be. Don't give him that foothold. Love yourself more. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between quality and quantity. It just depends on when you're ready to see the truth. Now, lastly, I've come to learn in my walk. Now, this is going on 3 years. That one of the greatest tasks that you'll ever have to embrace is changing the way you think. Did you hear what I'm saying? One of the hardest tasks that you will ever have to accomplish is changing your perception. Because if you're not willing to change the way you think, it will impact your outcome of your life. That is why we go through challenges that seem habitual. That's why we may desire something, but because the approach that we go about it, it never turns out the way we need it to, because it's a want. And the only thing changes is the environment, but the lesson is still the same, because there's a perception you have not let go of. So free yourself from that. Be truthful with yourself. It's very important, because if you're not truthful with yourself, how can you truly have the life that you need? You're not supposed to suffer, y'all. You do know that, right? You're not supposed to have drama in your life. You know that, right? And lastly, my queens, I say this in love. And I hope that you get this. The man that is destined to be in your life will be a spiritual man. He will be grounded. He will be transparent. I know you say, what do you mean by transparent, Gerald? What he says, he means, and his actions validate it. It should be what you see is what you get. But it should be in a process. If you're constantly attracting people, this is for you too, King. If you're attracting people that the end result is not balanced with the investment, then that's not for you to have. Because the people that are in your environment should always spark growth. They should always tell you what you need to know, which is truthful. It should never be in a position to tear you down. Now that goes twofold. The people that you interact, you should be able to find comfort and be who you are. Who you are. So if the person that is out in the world is not the person that is behind closed doors, then why are you doing it? You're only fooling yourself. And you're really wasting time, because until you're able to be truthful with yourself and do the work that's needed, look at your flaws for each and every one of them and start working on them. And when you start working on them, guess what? You're going to change your perception, because you are allowing yourself to grow. And you do not need permission from anyone to be who you are. But the question is this: do you know who you are? Are you emulating what you see and what you hear? Or are you actually embracing what you feel because it's been placed there divinely? Something to think about. That's why that old parable, if it seems too good to be true, it is. So don't be one of those people, okay? It's okay to say no. It's okay. And guess what? People always want what they don't have. So see your worth. See your value. Speak your truth. Keep your feet grounded. And let your higher power guide you where your life is intended to be. You deserve it. So, I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. Well, it's summer now. But your Memorial Day weekend, by all means, please be safe outside this weekend, because unfortunately there are going to be those people that don't see their worth. And I would like to see you next week. Got a beautiful, beautiful summer, y'all. Y'all don't even know it. And guess what? It's got your name written on it, because you're priceless. Alright guys, as I always say, God is praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And that makes you so priceless. So love yourself. Speak your truth. And just for that, in the divine time, it will come to pass. Trust and believe when I say that. Prayers must go up so the blessings come down. And because you're doing all that, guess what? It also helps me discern mine. You stay blessed, y'all. Love to hear from you. Have a good Memorial Day weekend. Bye.